The massive command chamber hung like a dark cathedral in orbit above the pulsating red star. Thousands of alien delegates, their forms draped in glittering robes of rank and power, crowded the tiered balconies, eyes fixed on the holographic display suspended in the air. Laughter rippled through the chamber, a sound both chilling and condescending. The hologram flickered, showing a ragtag group of humans fumbling with battered rifles and clumsy armor on a dusty, forgotten planet. Their movements were awkward, stumbling over uneven terrain, making errors any trained soldier would never tolerate. A prominent alien general, a towering figure with iridescent scales and 4 glowing eyes, slammed his clawed fist against the railing. Pathetic, he sneered. They're barely evolved enough to hold weapons. This human militia is a joke. Near him, an ambassador with pale, translucent skin chuckled. Why waste our fleets? We can wipe them out with a single cruiser. Earth is nothing but a backwater world, crawling with primitives. The laughter swelled. Some raised glasses, toasting to an easy victory. Yet, beneath the mirth, a subtle tension grew. One young observer, smaller and less adorned than the others, leaned forward. His eyes, sharp, calculating, glimmered with unease as he studied the humans. Wait, he murmured. Did you see that? One of the humans, it looked like they moved before the shot was even fired. The general scoffed. Imagination. They're slow, weak, nothing to fear. But the observer's gaze didn't waver. The flicker on the hologram, the faintest pause before a human raised his rifle, replayed in his mind. A hesitation, yes, but also a precision no novice could muster. Outside the chamber's viewport, the red star's corona flared violently, bathing the command center in eerie crimson light. Shadows danced across the delegates' faces, masking growing doubts, unknown to the council, across the void. The humans had not only noticed the alien arrogance they had prepared. On a tiny outpost at the edge of the solar system, a human scout ship slipped silently through an asteroid field, cloaked against sensors. Inside, Captain Lena Marcus studied a star chart projected before her. Her jaw was tight, eyes steely. They think we're weak, she whispered, that we don't fight back. A crackle buzzed in the comm panel. This is Earth Command. Report status. Lena's voice was calm but fierce. All clear. Scouting ahead. They'll regret underestimating us. Behind her, in the cramped ship's hold, a squad of soldiers checked weapons and tightened armor plates, their faces grim. Years of training, sharpened by Earth's harshest conditions, had forged them into something more than the galaxy's joke. A sudden blip appeared. On the radar, an alien patrol ship closing in fast. Lena's fingers danced over the controls. Prepare to engage, but not like they expect. The alien ship loomed larger, its sleek hull shimmering against the blackness. It unleashed a burst of plasma fire, deadly and precise. Yet, before the blast reached the scout ship, it vanished. Like smoke swallowed by the void, the humans slipped through the nebulous chaos, their ship weaving impossibly fast through swirling cosmic storms and glowing debris. On the alien bridge, the patrol captain slammed a fist onto the console. Target lost. How? Back on Earth. Lena exhaled slowly. We're ghosts, to them. Shadows in the void. In the council chamber, the hologram suddenly flickered again, this time, showing a faint shimmer around the humans. A silent warning, buried in the details. The young observer whispered, more to himself than anyone else. They're not what we thought. The general's laughter had died. A heavy silence settled over the chamber, broken only by the distant, unyielding roar of the red star. The galaxy was about to learn a brutal truth. They had taken humans lightly, and that mistake would cost them everything. The cold vacuum of space stretched endlessly, a black canvas dotted with distant stars and swirling nebulae. Somewhere within the dense folds of a vibrant purple storm, a small human scout vessel moved like a whisper, its hull barely catching the pale light of a dying star. Inside the dimly lit cockpit, Captain Lena Marcus gripped the controls tightly. Her breath was steady, but her senses were razor. The alien patrol ship, massive and heavily armed, had been tracking them for hours, relentless, patient. "They know we're here," her second-in-command whispered, eyes flicking nervously to the radar. "They're closing fast." Lena's gaze hardened. "Good. Let them come." Outside, the swirling nebula crackled with electric storms. Cosmic debris floated aimlessly, ancient remnants of shattered moons and forgotten warships. It was the perfect place to vanish, suddenly. The alien ship erupted with a burst of plasma fire, brilliant blue streaks, slicing through the void, aiming to shred the scout's hull. But the humans did not panic. Lena's fingers flew over the controls. The scout ship darted forward, weaving through the debris at impossible speeds. Their advanced stealth Tekka, secret Earth vision rendered their ship nearly invisible on enemy sensors. The plasma blasts tore through empty space, narrowly missing. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," Lena commanded. Below deck, the crew readied emergency protocols, their faces set with grim determination. Years of training in Earth's brutal environments had taught them to expect the worst and survive it. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. "Power surge," the engineer called out. For a terrifying moment, everything went dark. The alien ship's sensors locked on, ready to fire again. But then the scout's emergency systems kicked in, flooding the ship with a pulse of electromagnetic energy that scrambled the alien targeting arrays. "Now," Lena yelled. The scout vessel slipped through a narrow fissure in the nebula, its hull brushing against glowing gas clouds that shimmered like ghosts. The alien ship faltered, unable to follow without risking catastrophic damage. On the alien bridge, the patrol captain slammed his clawed fist against the console, eyes blazing with fury. "They vanished. Impossible." "How did they?" a cold voice answered from the shadows behind him. "Because they don't fight like we expect," murmured a silent observer, her eyes gleaming with a dangerous knowledge. Back on the scout ship, Lena allowed herself a brief smirk. The humans were shadows in the void, elusive, unpredictable, and far deadlier than the galaxy gave them credit for. Suddenly, an alarm blared. "Incoming transmission." The communications officer shouted. Lena activated the screen. The grainy image of an alien commander appeared, stern, arrogant. "This is a warning," the alien declared. "Withdraw your forces immediately, or face annihilation." Lena's eyes narrowed. "Tell your leaders this," she said coldly. "We don't withdraw. We fight, and we survive." She cut the transmission. Behind her, the crew exchanged looks, equal parts fear and fierce resolve. Outside, the nebula roared as electric storms danced dangerously close. The scout ship, a tiny speck of human defiance, vanished once more into the cosmic tempest. In the far reaches of space, the alien war council received fragmented reports. "The humans escape again," the general growled. "How can such primitives outmaneuver our fleets?" The young observer who had warned before stepped forward, his voice steady. "They fight shadows," he said, "and shadows are impossible to catch." The chamber fell silent. The galaxy was waking up to a terrifying truth. Humans were not the easy prey they had believed. They were hunters cloaked in shadows, and this was only the beginning. Beneath the ashen skies of a scarred Earth, the wind howled through ruins, ghosts of cities swallowed by decades of war and neglect. Somewhere in the shadows of a crumbling factory, flickering torchlight danced across faces hardened by years of hardship. Inside the subterranean forge, the hum of machinery mixed with steady footsteps and whispered commands. The air was thick with the smell of burning metal and sweat, a stark contrast to the polished starships and shimmering halls of the alien elites. Jax Reyes wiped grime from his brow, eyes scanning the rows of workers, forging weapons and armor from scrap. Each piece was rough, unrefined yet deadly in the hands of those who wielded it. He paused, listening as a low murmur spread through the forge, a distant explosion, echoing from above ground. The city might have been broken, but its heart still beat fiercely in a dim corner. An elder woman recited a story in a voice cracked by time, but sharp as a blade. "We survived because we learned to fight shadows," she whispered. "When the world was darkest, we forged strength from silence, from pain no enemy ever saw." Jogs felt a surge of pride. The galaxy knew Earth as a backwater, a forgotten speck, yet no one outside this underground labyrinth could understand the truth. Years of brutal survival had tempered humanity into something alien powers refused to comprehend. Suddenly, the forge's lights flickered, then steadied. Jogs's comm unit buzzed urgently. "Report," he said, voice low but commanding. "Alien fleet movements detected near the outer colonies," crackled the reply. "They're gathering strength. Estimated invasion imminent." A hush fell. Everyone exchanged glances. The moment of reckoning was near. Jogs took a slow breath. "They think we are weak," he said quietly, "but they've never faced what lives beneath the surface. The silent forge of humanity." Outside, the night sky was a swirling canvas of stars and distant fires, Earth's scars reflected in the cold beauty above. The planet had survived earthquakes, nuclear winters, and worse. It would survive this too. Suddenly, a distant boom shook the ground. Dust rained from the ceiling. "Prepare for deployment," Jogs ordered. "We don't wait for them to come. We strike first. We remind them what humanity truly is." The workers and soldiers moved. Swiftly armors were strapped on, weapons checked, and silent prayers whispered in many tongues. Jogs's gaze hardened. The galaxy's dominant powers might see Earth as an easy target, but the humans beneath these ruins were a storm waiting to be unleashed. The forge doors sealed behind them as they ascended, their faces illuminated by emergency lights and the burning horizon above. The alien fleets advanced, massive, impersonal machines of war cloaked in arrogance and confidence. But Earth's defenders moved like shadows, forged in silence and pain. And when the first blow landed, the galaxy would remember, not the humans they thought they knew, but the humans they never expected. The red planet loomed beneath the stars like a wound torn opener, barren wasteland of jagged rocks and swirling dust storms. Its crimson sands stretched endlessly, stained darker by the blood spilled in secret battles no one in the galaxy cared to witness. Under the blazing twin suns, a squad of humans moved silently, their armor camouflaged against the rust-colored landscape. Dust swirled with each cautious step, hiding their approach from the alien patrols scattered across the planet. Captain Jox Reyes crouched behind a craggy outcrop, eyes scanning the horizon through night vision lenses. The alien troops ahead were sleek and confident, armed with plasma rifles and energy shields, their bright armor gleaming under the harsh suns. They believed themselves invincible. Jox's voice was a whisper, cold and steady. "Remember, they expect brute force. We give them shadows." His squad tightened their grip on their weapons, rifles cobbled together from scavenged tech, grenades rigged with makeshift timers, and traps crafted from sharp metal and explosives. The humans had no hope of matching the aliens in raw firepower, but they had something far deadlier: surprise and unyielding will. A sudden crackle over the comm broke the silence. "Enemy patrol moving to Sector 5. Estimated arrival in 2 minutes. Jox's heart pounded, every sense alert. "Positions. Wait for my signal." The squad melted into the rocky terrain, every movement precise and deliberate. Their breaths were shallow, their nerves steel-tight. Then the first shot rang out. A plasma bolt streaked across the sky, narrowly missing one of Jox's soldiers. Instantly, the ground exploded in a shower of red dust and jagged metal. "Now!" Jox shouted. From hidden pits and behind boulders, humans sprang forth, launching grenades that erupted in blinding flashes and concussive blasts. Alien soldiers screamed as traps ignited beneath their feet, ripping through their formation. The advanced tech faltered against unpredictable guerrilla tactics. The battle erupted into chaos. Plasma fire lit the sky. Dust storms swallowed figures whole, and the ground trembled beneath explosions. But the humans fought with ruthless precision, moving like shadows that struck and vanished before the aliens could regroup. Amid the chaos, Jox caught sight of an alien commander barking orders, his voice distorted by a translator. "Hold the line. Destroy the insurgents." Jox gritted his teeth. "Not today." He sprinted forward, dodging a plasma blast, and tossed a grenade into the alien group. The explosion swallowed them whole. But the victory came at a cost. One of Jox's soldiers fell, clutching a bleeding arm, eyes wide with shock. "Medic," Jox yelled, pulling the injured fighter to cover. The battlefield was a brutal test of endurance, and willpower, a stark reminder that victory was never guaranteed. As the alien survivors retreated, the humans melted back into the dust, disappearing beneath the red sands like ghosts. Above them, a black sky slowly swallowed the twin suns. The scars on the planet's surface were fresh, but so was the warning. The galaxy would no longer see humans as easy prey. They were fighters, unpredictable, relentless, and deadly, and the blood spilled on these red sands was only the beginning. The Grand Chamber was a storm of voices, flashing holograms, and clashing ideals. The air hung heavy with tension as alien delegates from countless star systems gathered beneath the glittering dome of the Galactic Council. Vast projections of Earth hovered in the center, blue-green, and surprisingly alive, despite centuries of neglect. Commander Valarn, the iridescent-scaled general who had mocked humanity's weakness, slammed a clawed hand onto the Council's polished surface. "We cannot allow this primitive species to continue defying us. Their tactics are reckless, their will unbreakable. They grow stronger while we bicker." Across the chamber, Ambassador Sela, her translucent skin almost shimmering with cold, disdain retorted, "And yet, to attack Earth directly would be folly. The humans are bait lured into a trap we have not yet fully understood. Rushing in will only doom us." Murmurs swept through the chamber, fracturing alliances once thought unshakable. A young observer, the same one who had warned before, stepped forward. His voice was calm, but edged with urgency. "The humans fight like shadows, using our arrogance against us. If we do not unite with clear purpose, we will lose more than ground. We will lose control." The room descended into chaotic debate. One faction urged immediate and overwhelming force, a crushing strike meant to end the human threat before it could metastasize. Another faction counseled caution, suspecting that the humans' resilience hinted at deeper secrets yet uncovered. "Perhaps," they said, "there is an unknown power behind their defiance." In the shadows, a silent figure observed, her eyes gleaming with intent. Commander Thalira of the Vakari had watched humanity from afar, admiring their spirit, but wary of what their fury might unleash. She stepped forward, voice steady and commanding. "We face a crossroads," Thalira said. "Underestimating humans has cost us dearly, but a fractured alliance will ensure our defeat. We must bind ourselves, not just in fear, but in strategy and strength." A heavy silence followed. The weight of truth settled like a shadow across the council. Outside the chamber's vast windows, the stars seemed to pulse ominously as if the galaxy itself held its breath. Meanwhile, deep within the human underground bunkers on Earth, Commander Jox Reyes listened to intercepted alien transmissions. "They debate," he murmured. "They don't realize our strength grows while they squabble." He tightened his grip on a battered rifle, eyes sharp and unyielding. The war was no longer just a battle of weapons, but of will, cunning, and survival. The fractured alliance among the galaxy's most powerful species was humanity's chance and its greatest peril. Because while enemies divided, humans sharpened their resolve. And soon, the galaxy would learn, unity is strength, but division is death. Night cloaked the barren moonscape in shadows. The only light coming from distant stars and the faint glow of Earth's battered defense outposts nestled in a crater's embrace. Silence stretched heavy to heavy. Captain Lena Marcus crouched behind a rusted antenna mast, her breath shallow, every nerve screaming alert. The comm panel was dead, no signals, no reinforcements. Earth's outer colonies were cut off, alone against the growing alien threat. Movement, whispered her. Scout? 2 clicks northeast. Small patrol. Lena's eyes narrowed. No mistakes. We hit hard and vanish. The squad slipped forward like ghosts, shadows weaving with the shifting dust storms swirling over the crater's rim. They were ghosts, not by chance, but by design, honed in Earth's forgotten battlefields, where survival meant silence and speed. Ahead, alien soldiers patrolled with complacent arrogance, unaware that they were hunted. Lena checked her wrist HUD. Timers sync. Explosives primed. Wait for the signal. Time slowed. The only sounds were the distant howls of cosmic winds and the soldiers' suppressed breaths. Suddenly, a crackling in the static, a heartbeat away from disaster, a distant flare of plasma. Fire exploded nearby, lighting the alien patrol like statues frozen in blue flame. Go, Lena hissed. The squad surged, swift and brutal. Explosives detonated beneath alien feet, sending shockwaves of dust and steel. Blades flashed. Rifles spat fire. The aliens scrambled, disoriented by the ferocity. Lena moved like lightning, cutting through the chaos, her blade finding a weak spot in an armored warrior's side. The aliens screamed a sound sharp and foreign. The patrol collapsed, defeated before reinforcements could respond. But victory came with a price. Lena's comm crackled urgent, static-laden. Captain Marcus. Retreat. Enemy fleet closing fast. She glanced skyward. In the blackness above, a massive warship cast a looming shadow over the crater, its engines humming like a predator circling its prey. Extraction in 2 minutes, she ordered. Hold position. We disappear after. The squad melted back into the rocks as the warship's fighters swarmed down, plasma fire streaking the skies. Lena's heart pounded. This was no longer a skirmish. It was a test of endurance, and Earth's defenders had to prove they could survive. The silent strike had shaken the alien patrols, showing humans were not merely survivors, but predators. But the warship's shadow loomed, reminding them all. The fight was far from over. And in the silence between battles, a chilling question lingered. How many more silent strikes could Earth endure before the galaxy's might descended in full fury? The storm raged with unrelenting fury. Thunder tore through the thick, poisonous clouds swirling above the once proud colony world of Vexora Prime. Lightning illuminated shattered towers and twisted wreckage as the planet convulsed under violent winds and ceaseless rain. Deep in the heart of the ruined city, Captain Jacques Reyes and his squad pressed forward, every step a battle against the Tempest and the alien hunters stalking them. This is the eye, Jacques muttered, voice steady despite exhaustion. We find the beacon, we shut it down, cut their reinforcements. Around him, the squad's armor was battered, faces streaked with grime and rain. The flickering glow of their flashlights pierced the darkness like desperate hope. Suddenly, a distant howl echoed through the ruins, a warning and a challenge. Contact, hissed one of Jacques' soldiers, raising his plasma rifle just as shadowy figures lunged from the debris. The firefight erupted like a thunderclap. Bursts of plasma, fire lighting the rain-soaked streets. The aliens fought with brutal precision. But humanity's warriors fought harder every shot, every dodge, every breath, a testament to their indomitable will. JAX dove behind a shattered wall, narrowly avoiding a plasma blast that ignited the ground nearby. He glanced at the blinking signal on his wrist, seconds ticking down. "We're close," he growled. "Hold fast." The storm intensified, a wall of rain and wind masking their movements as they advanced. Finally, they reached the Sorsa towering antenna, its core pulsing with alien energy. A beacon calling reinforcements from distant fleets. Jox pulled a charge from his pack, hands steady, despite the chaos. "This ends now." As he set the timer, an alien commander appeared tall, armored, eyes burning with rage. "You will not destroy our link," the commander snarled, raising a weapon charged with crackling energy. Jax met the gaze, unflinching. "You underestimated us. You always do." The battle that followed was fierce and desperate, the storm outside mirroring the fury within. When the timer beeped its final countdown, Jox sprinted away just as the beacon erupted in a blinding explosion, sending shards of metal and fire into the tempest. The alien commander's scream was swallowed by the roar of the storm. As the squad regrouped in the fading chaos, Jox looked to the darkened sky. The storm still raged, but somewhere beneath its fury, a spark of hope had been lit. The beacon was destroyed. The reinforcements were cut off. The tide was beginning to turn, but victory came at a price. The storm had shown them how close the edge truly was. And in the shadows, darker threats waited. The galaxy had taken humans lightly for too long now. They would face the full storm of humanity's wrath. The stars above burned cold and distant, but down below, on the scorched surface of Earth's last bastion, fire and fury raged. Captain Lena Marcus stood atop the shattered remnants of an ancient citadel, her eyes blazing as waves of enemy warships darkened the horizon. The alien fleets had converged, massive, relentless, confident that this final assault would crush humanity once and for all. But they underestimated one truth. Humans did not break. They did not surrender. They rose behind Lena. Thousands of soldiers, scavengers, and survivors gathered, a ragged army forged in the fires of countless battles. Their weapons were battered, their armor scarred, but their spirits burned brighter than any star. "We stand on the edge of extinction." Lena's voice echoed across the ranks, steady and fierce. "They think we are weak, but we are the storm they never saw coming." Explosions rocked the skies as the alien fleets unleashed hellfire. Plasma cascaded like deadly rain, lighting the battlefield in eerie blues and reds. But the humans fought with a ferocity born of desperation and defiance. Silent strikes erupted behind enemy lines. Sabotage crippling war machines. Guerrilla fighters emerged from the shadows, striking with brutal precision. Jox Reyes led a squad through the chaos, planting explosives on key command vessels. The ground shook with every detonation, shaking the confidence of the invaders. From the skies, Lena's own fighter squadron weaved through enemy fire, their maneuvers swift and deadly. The battle was a tempest chaos, and courage fused into a deadly dance. Amid the carnage, the alien commanders watched in disbelief. "How can they endure?" one snarled, his voice trembling with rage. "They are shadows," another whispered. Darkness made flesh. As the sun began to rise, bleeding crimson over the horizon, the tide finally turned. Alien ships faltered, their formations shattered. The once confident invaders were now desperate. Hunted Lena raised her voice, a rallying cry echoing across the battlefield. "This is our home, our fight, and we will not fall." The final push was brutal and unyielding. When silence finally fell, the scorched earth was littered with the wreckage of war, but humanity stood tall. The galaxy had taken humans lightly. Now, they faced the consequences. Because humans were not just survivors, they were the reckoning. They were the rising storm, and the galaxy would never forget.